Voting starts this weekend. People living in the Osseo School District will have an opportunity to decide whether to fund a series of building improvements. Now, district leaders are beginning a push to inform voters.
On November 7th, we are asking our Osseo area school community members to reinvest in our schools.
Another year, another ballot question in Osseo area schools. This time, the ask is to help fund building improvements.
And we have critical needs in our buildings currently that needs additional help in order for us to be able to give our schools and students the learning environments that they need.
The district calls it Building a Better Future. And here at Osseo Senior High, Superintendent Kim Heil says one of the goals would be to redo the main entrance.
As you see, they're able to come into the vestibule. We do have where they are able to be buzzed in, but as they come in, they're actually in the lobby of the school before they go into the office over here.
If the bond passes, the main office would be the first stop for visitors. Meanwhile, one of the other major upgrades would come to the school's media center, which district officials call outdated.
So we just need to upgrade of how our students learn, because our students are quite different from how our students were 20 years ago. The needs are different.
Essentially, every school in the district would receive some sort of building improvement if voters approve the ballot measure. However, approving the measure would mean that a homeowner in a median-priced home of $300,000 would pay an additional $7 per month in property taxes.
That impacts a family, but our goal is for our community to see they're reinvesting in our school systems. Our school systems help to develop better property and more people coming in and home value. So we see it as a reciprocal of being able to benefit each other.
The district has community informational meetings scheduled in the coming weeks, where they can educate voters on some of those potential benefits.
So we just want to make sure our taxpayers are informed of what we're asking and what the need is.
The upcoming informational sessions are October 3rd at Osseo Senior High and October 11th at Maple Grove Senior High. Both events are at 6 p.m. A new state law continues to cause uncertainty on the status of school resource officers. Governor Tim Walz said Tuesday that Attorney General Keith Ellison will soon issue more clarification on when certain types of restraints can be used on unruly students.
Those students with special needs already have this in place. This was to clarify it for the entire student body. So that's what, it's unfortunate. Those who are trying to make this a political issue, you simply are not going to hear me out there saying this. I think these police departments that have a concern just want clarity.
Walz says he plans to meet with law enforcement later this week. Clarity is exactly what Maple Grove Police Chief Eric Werner is looking for. He says already this school year, some officers were questioning what they could and could not do. The department pulled its 5 SROs from schools this week. He says Maple Grove's program model works and is asking for a change so officers can return.
I think a very clear statute change would provide the clarity for our officers.
At this time, Werner says officers will be patrolling the area of those schools and respond to emergency calls as needed. Updated COVID-19 boosters are on their way to Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz held a news conference this week to get his flu shot and to tell others to do the same. Walz says he plans to get the COVID-19 booster as soon as it arrives. Walz, along with Health Commissioner Brooke Cunningham, say it's a relief to add COVID-19 shots into the annual flu shot routine.
There's no risk to getting both shots at the same time. And as the governor said, we expect the COVID vaccines to be arriving in Minnesota any day now.
Cunningham suggests getting your shots in September or October. The CDC recommends the shots for anyone 6 months or older. Cunningham says anyone can get it as long as 2 months have passed since your last booster. The COVID-19 shots are available commercially, and most insurance companies cover the vaccine at no cost. In Brooklyn Park Wednesday, the largest expansion of mental health beds for youth and young adults that Minnesota has seen in decades. PrairieCare's $15 million expansion held a grand opening, adding 30 inpatient psychiatric hospital beds for adolescents and young adults. The expansion is a part of PrairieCare's mission to help address a mental health crisis.
People need us more than ever, so us creating capacity now is the perfect timing, and we're advancing evidence-based practices.
From our perspective as a city in Brooklyn Park, it's a privilege for us to be able to have this facility here to serve youth.
According to PrairieCare, more than a third of young adults and nearly a third of Minnesota students suffer from a mental health issue. The expansion brings the total beds at the Brooklyn Park Hospital to just over 100. A Robbinsdale hotel that's been around for more than a century is being converted into housing for veterans. The Minnesota Assistance Council for Veterans is remodeling the Robin Hotel into living space for homeless veterans. The Robbinsdale City Council approved the project this week. The hotel is at the corner of 41st and Hubbard. MacV plans to build one floor of apartments and one floor of sleeping rooms. The nonprofit says the inside needs serious renovations.
Some of our individual veterans do actually enjoy the group living, and they can make that their permanent choice. It doesn't have to be transitional. We like to meet the veterans where they're at and not refer to any one house, one building, one room as this is transitional housing.
The Robin Hotel was built in 1900. This Saturday, a special fundraiser to help train assistance dogs. The annual Can Do Woofaroo is a 1-mile fundraising walk and festival that invites dog owners and the general public. The event raises money for Can Do Canines, a New Hope nonprofit that has trained hundreds of assistance dogs for people with disabilities. That training is expensive. It costs about $45,000 to prepare an assistance dog. In addition to the walk, Saturday's event includes music, food, and assistance dog demonstrations. It takes place from 10 until 2 at the Can Do Canines campus in New Hope.
The Maple Grove girls tennis team is ranked 5th in the state in Class 2A. The Crimson took aim at another win on their home courts Tuesday. Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
Maple Grove hosting Andover in Northwest Suburban Conference girls tennis. First singles, Maddie Larson serves for Maple Grove to Hannah Kumpel, and it sets up a forehand winner for Larson. She wins 6-0, 6-3 for the Crimson. At number 1 doubles, Andover serves. Maple Grove's Millie Larson and Lexi Helmer-Johnke in the near court facing Whitney Tollickson and Cammie Talbot. After they exchange shots, Larson puts an overhead away. Larson and Helmer-Johnke win 6-2, 6-1. To number 2 singles, Shar Baki is in the near court for Maple Grove against Celia Molinar. Baki hustles in for a backhand and then delivers a volley winner on her way to a 6-0, 6-0 win as Maple Grove cruises. At number 2 doubles, Maple Grove's Megan Parker the serve and Peyton Weigelt leaps for the volley that's returned wide. They beat Allie and Addie Potter in straight sets as Maple Grove takes the match 7-0. They're now 13-3. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
In high school boys soccer, both Maple Grove and Park Center came into their Tuesday night match undefeated in Section 5-3A play. The Crimson haven't lost yet at all this year and are ranked 4th in the state. Park Center had lost only one game this fall, and that was to Centennial. Chaz Moots has the highlights from this match.
Maple Grove a perfect 6-0 in Northwest Suburban Conference play this fall. Park Center came in with a 3-1 conference record. You don't see this too often. Crimson goalkeeper Beckett Carlson taking the penalty kick. He sends a rocket to the back of the net. Maple Grove on the board first in the 20th minute. Crimson with another opportunity in the first half. Owen Bersham pushes the ball up ahead, crosses it to a streaking Mason Reed, who taps it in to extend the Maple Grove lead to 2-0. Second half, Crimson in control, and then from 35 yards out, how about this boot from Colin Merritt? One bounce, snuck it in the bottom right corner. Great shot from the sophomore. MG stays unbeaten, picking up a 3-0 win over Park Center. In Maple Grove, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
The Wayzata volleyball team swept Minnetonka Tuesday to stay undefeated on the season. Monday, the Trojans took down a top 10 team. Chaz Moots has the highlights.
Wayzata volleyball undefeated, ranked 1st in the state in Class 4A, putting their perfect record on the line against East Ridge, who's ranked 4th in Class 4A. Great first set, good defense from the Raptors. Alexa Dietz with the block at the net. East Ridge in front, 28-27. Bianca Nister lays out for the dig. Avery Jesuits, big kill to keep the set alive.
Later on, Trojans with a chance to take the opening set. It's sophomore Eva Swenson coming up with the block. Wayzata takes the first set 30-28. Another Swenson with a nice play in the second set. Olivia rises up, big swing and kill. Trojans up 17-13. Then the number 1 ranked player in the state and Minnesota Gopher commit Stella Swenson fakes out the East Ridge defense for the point. Trojans take the second set 25-21. The Swenson sisters played well, so did Katie Kelsenberg. Great touch from the junior. That was match point. Wayzata won the third set 25-17. The win over the Raptors marks the 6th victory for the Trojans over a top 10 state-ranked Class 4A team this season.
I mean, I think it's great that we've taken down those big teams like Lakeville South, for example. That's a great team, and I feel like we'll definitely see them in the future. So, I mean, it feels really good for sure, but I think we all kind of have our eyes on the prize, not going to let that get to our heads, and they're going to keep improving, we're going to keep improving, so it's all a matter of what happens in the future.
I thought we were really good on the outside. Our setter played great. Stella does really good. Katie Kelsenberg had a great match attacking in the middle there. We had some kids step up, and we did some things defensively that we've been asking for all season. This is the night we kind of finally put that consistency together, some defensive things we've been working on.
In Plymouth, Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.